In the chapter 3, the part 2, the science of how habit works. So, according to the author, the process of building a habit can be divided into four simple steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. Breaking it down into these fundamental parts can help us understand what a habit is, how it works, and how to improve it, and most of all, how we can build habit for our own benefit. This four-step pattern is the backbone of every habit, and your brain runs through these steps in the same order each time. First, there is the cue. The cue triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. It is a bit of information that predicts a reward. Our prehistoric ancestors were paying attention to cues that signaled the location of primary rewards like food, water, or sex. Today, we spend most of our time learning cues that predict secondary rewards like money and fame, power and status, praise and approval, love and friendship, or a sense of personal satisfaction. Your mind is continuously analyzing your internal and external environments for hints of where reward are located, because the cue is the first indication that we are close to a reward. It is naturally leads to a craving. Craving are the second step, and they are the motivational force behind every habit. Without some level of motivation or desire, without cravings, a change, we have no reason to act. What you crave is not the habit itself, but the change in state it delivers. You do not crave smoking a cigarette. You crave the feeling of relief it provides. You are not motivated by brushing your teeth, but rather by the feeling of a clean mouth. You do not want to turn on the television. You want to be entertained. Every craving is linked to a desire to change your internal state. This is an important point that we will discuss in detail later. Craving differ from person to person. In theory, any piece of information could trigger a craving, but in practice, people are not motivated by the same cues. For a gambler, the second of slot machine can be a point trigger that spark an intense wave of desire for someone who rarely gambles. Now, the third step is the response. The response is the actual habit you perform or actual task you perform again and again, which we call as habit, which can take the form of a thought or an action. Whenever a response occurs depends on how motivated you are and how much friction is associated with the behavior. If a particular action requires more physical and mental effort than you are willing to extend, then you don't do it. Your response also depends on your ability. It sounds simple, but a habit can occur only if you are capable of doing it. If you want to dunk a basketball but can't jump high enough to reach the hoop, well, you are not out of luck. Finally, the response delivers a reward. Reward are the end goals of every habit. The cue is about noticing the reward. The craving is about wanting the reward. The response is about obtaining the reward. We chase reward because they serve two purposes. One, they satisfy us, and two, they teach us. The purpose of reward is to satisfy your craving. Yes, a reward provides benefit on their own. Food and water delivers the energy you need to survive. Getting a promotion begins more energy and respect. Getting in shape improves your health and your dating prospect. But the more immediate benefit is that rewards satisfy your craving to eat or to gain status or to win approval. At least for a moment, reward delivers contentment and relief from craving. Second, rewards teach us which actions are worth remembering in the future. Your brain is a reward detector. As you go about your life, your sensory nerve system is continuously monitoring which actions satisfy your desires and deliver pleasure. Feeling of pleasure and disappointment are part of the feedback mechanism that helps your brain distinguish your useful actions from useful ones. Rewards close the feedback loop and complete the habit cycle. If our behavior is insufficient in any of four stages, it will not become a habit. Eliminate the cue or your habit will never start. Reduce the craving and you won't experience enough motivation to act. Make the behavior difficult and you won't be able to do it. And if the reward fails to satisfy your desires, then you will have no reasons to do it again in the future. Without the first three steps, a behavior will not occur. Without all four, a behavior will not be repeated. And thus you can eliminate any of your bad habits. This is what called the habit loop. So let me summarize all the 4 points really quick. First, there is the cue which triggers your brain or triggers your conscious or subconscious mind to start acting in a particular pattern or to follow a particular pattern through which you had experienced a certain amount of pleasure previously. Second step, craving. After you get the trigger of getting the reward or same reward just like previous time, you start to feel that I want the pleasure again. That is what is craving. Third, you start acting or you start implementing the process of whatever that gave you pleasure last time. That is the response. And fourth, where you get the reward and thus you complete the cycle. And the more number of time you complete this cycle, the more stronger will be the habit, and if that is a bad habit, the more difficult it will be to make it disappear. Hope you like this video. I think you felt it a bit informative. If you really felt this video informative and helped you a little bit on giving you a perspective that how habits work and helped you a little bit and maybe gave you a little bit of motivation that you can also improve yourself, then I would like to suggest you do subscribe. That will mean a lot. The next video will be the 4 laws of behavior changes. Press the bell icon so that you don't miss out the next part of this chapter. Thank you.